Hey guys, so this is going to be a video, essentially a review of a pretty well-known rifle. A lot of people have seen it, gun stores and stuff. And it's the Savage Model 10, particularly the 10BA Stealth. Sorry, I'm like getting sick or something, but so I've had this rifle for about a week now, but I've already put almost 200 rounds through it. Sorry, I just dropped the magazine. And for the most part, it's done really well. So let's get this out of the way. What kind of groups can you expect to shoot? So this was at 400 yards with a 24-mile-per-hour wind. So this is 2.75 inches apart from the center of this to the center of this. So that's below half a minute of, or just over half a minute of an angle with 20-mile-per-hour winds. And here, this was just group work, kind of seeing what kind of groups it could shoot in 100. Here is 3 rounds of Tula 160 grain, and then here is a 180 grain Cellar and Bellet round. And I pulled this one, but these were all good pulls, good trigger pulls. So, like as you can see, these are just jagged holes, and it's at 110 yards. So that's where our rest is set up in relation to our target. Is about 111 yards, but 110. So you got that out of the way. Now let's talk about the actual rifle itself. Hold on. Okay. So when you get the rifle, it will come obviously in black with this MDT magazine. MDT is also the company that, in conjunction with Savage, made the sorry, my dog's barking. Made the chassis. This is actually different from the MDT LSS chassis. This is M-LOK, and it goes up a bit higher so that you can mount like an M-LOK under bipod on the sides. This sucks. This magazine is just terrible. If you load more than about 8 rounds, you start running into a lot of issues where if you put any pressure whatsoever, you can't cycle the bolt. If you put 10 rounds, you can't. It won't load. So yeah, this is truly like a 7-round magazine actually, because you can even run into some issues with 8. So this is a 7-round magazine. And also when I tap it, like you can feel the spring vibrating and stuff, which isn't something I've noticed with Magpul PMags. Maybe it's an AICS mag thing, but definitely replace this as soon as possible because I've had a lot of issues with this. So I mean, I might have gotten just a lemon or whatever, but also if you don't get it perfectly aligned like that, okay, if it's even a little bit off, it's like a battle to get into the chassis. I'll adjust the camera down here. Okay, so that way we're looking at the rifle and not my ugly ass. Okay, so and it does have a threaded muzzle. That's like one of the cooler features of it, as well as the chassis. Oh, another place they failed. I have it around here somewhere. Just gonna see if I can find it. Alright, I'm not gonna be able to find it right now. But the Fab Defense stock is just terrible. I wish they would have done like they did with the Savage Ashbury, with the M-LOK tube that goes. I wish they would have put a CTR on like they did with that. So that is what I did. I put a CTR on. Okay, one place where ergonomically and accessory-wise they did really well is a Hogue grip. This is really well molded to like a smaller hand like mine, and the texturing is perfect. The texturing is enough, and it's done in the proper way to not slip, but It's not going to like eat your hand up or anything. This is comfortable to shoot a lot of rounds through. And then of course you have the Savage AccuTrigger. Okay, magazine is empty. Visually and physically inspect the barrel. This is an amazing trigger pull. So once you take the slack out of the out of the blade, you just any travel whatsoever sets it off. Another cool thing is the 3-stage tang safety. So when it's all the way forward like it is, you can't really see it because I was stupid and painted over it. But when it's all the way forward, it'll shoot and you can cycle the bolt. Okay, when it's back here, one click, alright, you can still cycle the bolt. So if you need to like unload and show clear or whatever, you can do that. But obviously the trigger won't pull. And then back here, the bolt won't cycle and it won't shoot. So that's kind of cool. One thing I didn't like though is with this blade trigger, if you pull it without pulling the blade, it actually decocks it. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of that part because I think that under stress it might be easy to kind of only hit that and then have a decocked rifle. You know, but then I also understand why, because this is like a 1 pound this can go down to like 1.5 pounds of pressure, so it would be very easy to snag it on gear or whatever and and have it go off. So I personally wouldn't have done it designing it, but you know, what do I know, basically. So then we have what I have on here. This does not come with the rifle, obviously, but it's a Vortex 4-16 by 50. So it's pretty good. Sorry. It's pretty good as far as clarity and everything. Even out to 500, or even up to like 900. I reached out yesterday to 900. And actually was hitting a 55-gallon drum at 900 yards out of the back of a truck bed. So the scope is definitely good enough. I don't know where people are getting the whole optical clarity thing. Maybe if, you know, one day when I look through like a Stein or a Schmidt and Bender, I'll say, oh wow, Vortex is terrible. But that's riding on Team Warren mounts. These are, I've had a couple of different products of theirs and it's always been stable and sturdy and everything like that, and they're well priced. So the rifle by itself does come with this 20 MOA rail, which is good for high, you know, long distance shooting, because it'll give you that extra 20 MOA of adjustment that you need. So now you might be wondering why I have a foregrip on a bolt action rifle. The reason for that is that this is mostly a coyote gun, and we don't actually like go out and hunt coyotes. We kind of just, like, if we're feeding cows or whatever, coyote might show up and we need to shoot it because, you know, they kill our baby cows and everything. So I can push this up against the hood of a truck or a truck window or any other natural barricade that occurs and get a decently secure firing position. And then, you know, if I'm deer hunting with this and we see a deer, I can go up, you know, 5 feet to the nearest tree and, you know, shove this into a tree branch or whatever and take a shot. Oh, wow. Sorry, I had loose ammo in the same gun case as this rifle, but for 5.56. So, fell in the chassis there. We already went over the accuracy. This thing doesn't get dirty easily either. You know, I've kept it pretty clean, but I've shot a lot of steel. I've shot a lot, period, but I've shot like 100 rounds of steel through this thing, and it really hasn't gotten dirty. So, you know, that's good. We'll go over the chassis here. because the chassis is one of the more controversial parts of this rifle. So, I really like the chassis. I like the looks of it, I like the ergonomics of it, and I like the capabilities of it. So you have a commercial spec tube back here. Kind of wish they would have made it a mil spec tube, but you know, whatever, not a big deal. So, you know, this allows you to attach obviously a wide range of stocks, and it mitigates recoil all right. It recoils for sure, but it's not like crazy. You know, we already went over the Hogue grip is definitely like a great feature. I'm probably not going to replace it. And the way that the cut down to more of the tube to the wider chassis goes is done excellent. Excellently. I don't know. It's done really well. So, you know, you can get more like a traditional rifle stock grip with it. Okay. And also the oversized mag well, or the oversized trigger guard is really great too, because I have shot this in like 10-degree weather and I was able to wear a giant winter glove. And that was also the 20-mile-per-hour shooting that I did the other day, so it felt like -5. So I had a big ass winter glove on there, and I could still it fit in there. It did take a little bit of the slack out of the Accu trigger already, but it fit in there just fine. You know, I like the Savage branding that's done on there. And remember, this is a proprietary chassis to Savage, so the one that MDT TAC sells by themselves is not the same. One minor complaint I do have about the chassis is I wish that this would have been like a vertical, just a straight, like a 90-degree angle, because like I don't really use this as a hand spot anyways, and if I wanted to I could still if it were 90 degrees, and this prevents you from using it to shove up against a barricade, which kind of requires you to have something like this. There's a little bit of a ledge down here, like if you were shooting off like in a competition, if you were shooting off a plywood barricade, but I just wish that would have been done a little bit better. You know, the fore end of the chassis is excellent though. The only complaint I have about the fore end is I wish it came out to like here. Okay, I wish it came out a little bit further so that I could have a bipod really fucking far forward. And it would have been nice to see it go over the barrel, but this is a bull barrel, and when I shot like 100 rounds through it at the range trying to get it set in, it was like lukewarm. So, like, this barrel does not heat up. So, but I do wish the chassis forend would have been further, but I do like that it has a sling stud, because with this you can put a Harris style bipod on there, or like the Blackhawk one, or you know, any one that attaches to a sling swivel. So that's nice. And then I also like that it has the M-LOK sections up here, because it allows you to attach a bipod that would like attach to the sides, or an M-LOK sling mount, you know, all sorts of different cool shit. And then the barrel is 5/8 by 24 thread, so we can attach most 7.62 muzzle brakes. The barrel has a I think it has a 1 in 10 twist, so it's going to stabilize most 308 rounds pretty well. And I was reaching out to 400 with 160 grain Tula, so that's pretty good, because that's what I was shooting out of it. And I reached out to like 880, because half a mile with 150 grain Remington core locked rounds. So, yeah. That about concludes it. As far as the rifle, the bolt cycles really smoothly, but one complaint I do have is I wish that like the bolt angle were more like 90 degrees instead of all the way up here, because I could see if you're running a scope really low with kind of a wider ocular lens, you could run into some interferences with that. But I mean, it's not like a Mosin account where it's like all the way up, but that could have been improved on, I think. And obviously the decocking feature, I'm not a big fan of that. So all in all, I'd give this rifle like a 8.5 or 9 out of 10. There are a few like design things I would have changed if I had been designing it, but you know, also I could see that those are cost-saving measures because there's a lot less milling in a short forend like this than a long forend like that. And same thing with if it were to go over the barrel. So that pretty much concludes my review of the Savage.